Good morning. My name is Dr. Tom Rivera, and I'm the Associate Dean, Undergrads Emeritus. Emeritus means that I retired a couple of years ago, and today is November the 15th, 2013, and we're in the POW Library in the fourth floor, and our guests this morning are Mr. and Mrs. Luis Contreras. I want to start off with Luis, and Luis, welcome to Cal State San Bernardino.
Thank you.
And your wife's name is?
Lucy.
Lucy. Welcome to
Bernal. It was Bernal.
Lucy Bernal. Welcome to Cal State San Bernardino, and we're happy to have you here this morning.
Well, thank you.
And thank you very much for being very understanding and sympathetic with me because, you know, I was an hour late to pick you up. So I'm sorry
No
about
problem.
that. I'm sorry. Luis, you were born in 1923,
Yes,
so you're 90 years old.
right now.
You're
yes.
90 years old,
Mhm.
and you were born in Colton.
Yes,
You were born in Colton, and when you were in high school, you were drafted into the Army, the World War II.
yes.
Now tell us about that, Luis. How did it happen that you were in high school and you were working part-time at the air base and you were drafted into the Army?
Yes, I was going to night training school at Northern Air Force Base. Excuse me, at that time was, what did they call it? San Bernardino Air Depot.
Uh-huh.
It wasn't Northern, it was San Bernardino Air Depot. And I was being trained for engine mechanic work. And then when it came to get drafted, I was asked to resign, pick school, or because I wanted to 8 hours of training, which I got. So in a way, it was through the drafting deal that I had to quit school.
Okay. So you quit school because you were drafted?
Yes,
All right. And what year were you have been in school when you got drafted?
that was 1943.
And you were a junior or a senior in high
A
school?
junior.
A junior in high school, and you were drafted into the Army. And where did you get your training?
In Denver, Colorado, Buckley Field.
In Buckley Field. How long was the training? How many months was the training?
About 4 weeks, I think.
4 weeks, and you were trained in basic Army activities.
Yes, Army activity, marching, bivouacking, and marching with 50 pounds on your shoulder for 18-mile hikes and all this good stuff.
And you were 19 years old.
Yes.
And where did they assign you after you did all that training? Where did they assign you?
Well, I was, after I finished my basic training, they didn't know where to put me, so they were going to send me to another engine school. And so that one didn't come through, so they found out I was in the high school band, so they put me into the Air Force marching band,
What instrument did you play?
saxophone.
Ah, so after they found out that you were a mechanic at the San Bernardino District Airport, that they said, we'll put you in as a mechanic, but they couldn't find a place for you.
They were going to give me some more training, engine training.
Engine training,
Yeah.
and they said, you are a band member, so we'll put you in the band.
Yes.
And how long and what did you do within the band?
Just march in the parade and all this stuff.
Uh-huh.
And 2 weeks, then my name came up on the bulletin board to report to the adjutant officer and get new orders to go to gunnery school in Cameron, Arizona. The 8th Air Force was building up its forces.
So you were notified that you're going to be transferred
Yes.
to gunner training,
Yeah.
and what platoon or what Air Force was that?
Well, at that time, I wasn't in the Air Force yet. I was just training for a B-17 gunner.
A B-17 gunner.
Mhm.
And where was the training?
Kingman, Arizona.
Kingman, Arizona? And how long was the training, Luis?
About 4 weeks, about
4 weeks?
4 or 5 weeks.
And
They would train air to air gunnery, air to ground, ground to ground, all this good stuff.
And how many crew members were in your airplane?
10.
10 crew members?
10 crew members.
You had the pilot, the co-pilot.
On the front, it would be the bombardier, navigator, pilot, co-pilot, top throw gunner, radio operator, right and left wing gunner, me in the bottom, and the tail gunner.
You mentioned that your assignment was at the bottom. What does the bottom mean?
The bottom
was that
wall.
the bottom wall?
The B-17.
On the B-17?
Yes.
And you were, what was your responsibility? A gunner?
To shoot the enemy.
Uh-huh. And you know that, being under the plane, that was a small kind of,
It's a little tight, but that's it. A little lonely back on there.
and then after your training, Luis, you were sent to England?
Yes. We were sent to England, and our first stop was Labrador. At that time, I think it was about 30 below zero.
Mm-hmm.
And then we went to Greenland. That was about 40 below zero. Then we went to Iceland. That was about 40 below zero. My nail was purple and brown and black, and name it.
Uh-huh.
And boy, I'm telling you, colder than hell, man.
Well, from Colton to that
Yeah.
type of weather,
Yeah.
it's no comparison or nothing.
No comparison at all.
And then you were in England, stationed in England?
In Molesworth, England, yes, air base.
Oh, which air base? What is the name of the air base?
Molesworth.
Molesworth?
Uh,
Okay. And then how many assignments did you get to when your B-17 was bombing Germany? How many assignments did you?
But we were told we were going to make 25 missions and then return home to sell war bonds and all that stuff.
Uh-huh.
If you make 25 missions, the point was this: if you lasted 5 missions, then you were living in borrowed time, because there was no way you were going to get through 25 missions at that time. Oh, because the minute that we left the English Channel, here comes the German Air Force. You have to fight all the way to Germany, and then before the bomb run, the run fire up in the air, you'd always lose 5, 10, 15 planes every time you went up. So there was no way you were going to end up making 25 missions. It was just impossible.
Mission Impossible. Mission Impossible.
Boy.
So when the planes took off, the B-17s took off, how many took off at the same time? Más o menos, more or less.
Well, my group that I was in, we was about 50 airplanes.
50 airplanes?
On my group, yes,
And how many were expected to be shot down?
from 10 to 20.
Oh, about,
In our group,
uh-huh.
in the Schweinfurt mission, we lost 60 airplanes in the first half hour.
60 airplanes the first
60
half hour?
airplanes. 60 airplanes. The day that we were shot down, they shot down 20 airplanes.
Tell me about the day you were shot down. You said that when you flew from England to Germany, and if you didn't make the first pass, tell me about the first pass, the second pass, and the third pass.
You mean on the bomb run?
Yes, the bomb run, I'm sorry.
The first bomb run, the lead bombardier couldn't see the target, so he didn't release the bombs.
Okay, so you got to Germany and you couldn't find the target, so you were...
So here's your target, and you come in from over here, and when you hit the initial point here, you come over here and then you hit the bomb run, which is about 10 to 14 minutes. I mean, you're just a sitting duck.
Mhm.
And so the first bomb run, the bombardier couldn't see the target, because our bombing missions, you had to see the target.
Okay,
Precision bombing, that's what we had.
and if you didn't hit the target or find the target, what happened?
You go back to the IP and go back to the, but you never did that. Every time we went up, the first bomb run, we would start the bomb. That
Okay.
particular target, the lead bombardier couldn't see the target, so he didn't release bombs. So we came around to the IP, back to the bomb. The second time, we couldn't release the bomb because there was a B-24 squadron beneath us. So he couldn't release the bombs either. So the third time, by that time we had one engine on fire from the ground fires. So the bombardier, the third bomb, he released the bombs. When we released the bombs, then they hit the other engine. So then we peeled off, and so the guy says, the co-pilot says, prepare to bail out, and I pulled my handles on my turret and it wouldn't move off underneath. The only way I can get out of the airplane is go up to the waist, because I'm underneath. So I couldn't come up. So the pilot gave an order to the radio man. Just pilot the radio, crank him up. If you can't crank him up, you bail out, and that's an order.
So
we were
if,
25,000 feet.
at 25,000 feet,
And
they
it
said,
is 40 below zero up there.
and 40 below zero, and they said if you cannot crank
Crank me up.
Luis up, leave him there, and you parachute.
There's no way I could have gotten out. But Smitty, the radio man, he cranked me up. And I was ready to pass out. My oxygen was all shut up.
Uh-huh.
So he connected me to an oxygen bottle and pulled me out.
Mm-hmm.
And put my chute on my harness. As soon as he did that, I came out of the pin I was in and I said, bail out. So when I bailed out, before I pulled my ripcord, the airplane blew up, and I didn't know whether the rest of the guys got out or not. I had no idea.
So you just got out in time then?
In time. The other guys had already gone out on the front, but I didn't know that.
So you had no idea what happened to your crew?
So I never got in touch with my crew member family because I didn't want to bring up bad feelings, you know. And about 50 years later, I found out they were having a reunion in St. Louis and they got a hold of me. You talk about crying adults, we were all crying like babies.
So that was in St. Louis. What year was that, Luis?
About 50 years later.
Oh, 50 years later?
After the war.
So 1990 or so?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, when you bailed out, you landed in the ground.
Yeah.
And what happened when you landed? This was in Germany.
Yeah.
What part of Germany was?
Dresden.
Dresden?
Dresden, Germany.
Dresden, Germany.
Yeah, a bunch of civilians, about 100 of them, they picked me up, sent me to the floor, and put my arms in the back, which is why I can lift my arms up. Put my arms in the back and lift my arm over my head, and everything cracked. That's why I can go with my hands. It messed up my spinal cord, dislocated my shoulder, cracked my ribs, and I don't know what I was hit with here in the forehead. They put a hole in my forehead, whatever I got hit with, I don't know. But my ankle was way up here, and they broke one wrist. Oh boy. So then they picked me up about the third or fourth time, threw me on the ground, and when they kicked me and cracked my ribs, and they put me in the middle of two haystacks, they were going to shoot me. They already shot Eddie Essinger, my right wing gunner, and the tail gunner. People, the civilians, not the military.
So when you landed on the ground, the German civilians got you,
Yeah.
and they beat you up.
Not just me, everybody they could have put their hand on.
Okay.
The Air Force was, hey, kill them and that's it.
And then afterwards, they put you against a bale of haze, and they're going to shoot
They're
you.
going to shoot me, and then they heard the hollering of the German army. Halt! Halt! And they shot some rounds over their head, so they dropped their rifles. So then they had me walking all that day till about midnight, and I started staggering, and the guy said, if you fall, you will be shot, he says. And my ankle was black and blue up here, and every time I put my weight on that ankle, and I was favoring my left foot. So I walked at about midnight, and they put me in this, like a jail with a cement slab. But they left the gate open, but about 10 dogs, The guy said, if you want to take off, I said, take off.
Okay.
Mm.
Not against those dogs, eh?
No way. So that's it. So they left me there about a week, and then they took me to. Then they had these guys asking me questions, so I answered them in Spanish, and you know, I didn't feel like I wanted to die at 19, you know.
Well, you were 19 at the time, okay.
Yeah. So they didn't know what to do, so they kept me there about a week, and then they took me out of the jailhouse and put me in a chair and tied my hand behind my back. Here comes this big Gestapo guy, and I mean a gorilla, man, and he says, he talks to me in Castilian Spanish. He says, I want you to know that I understand your Spanish, and I want information. And so I told him, I don't know, I don't have any information, which I didn't. I didn't have any information to give him anyway. So that's when he hit me here and he opened me up here and went back to the wall. And so then they took me out of there and they put me in this, behind this wire fence. Plus other flying guys, other Air Force guys. And they took us out of there and they marched us here and there on the ground. You had two guards in front, two in the middle, and two in the back. And just walking on the streets. And they would commandeer railroad cars or whatever. We wound up in Czechoslovakia in a prison camp up there. Then they brought us back to Berlin. And then they put us in an English camp, where nothing but English soldiers that had been there for about 3 or 4 years. So we spent about 3 or 4 days there. And then, so the guys had already picked up the German lingo, and they told us, says, tomorrow morning they're going to get you guys and march you out of here. And there's a little forest about 2 miles from here. And when you get to the little forest, they're going to shoot you. Okay, 9 of us, 9 Air Force guys. So they got us out of the compound and we were walking about 2 hours. And there's a cross street. We're walking and in about another hour we would have been shot. There comes this tank from the other side of the street. It was General Patton, Third Armored Division.
General Patton came to the rescue.
General Patton and the guys in the tank, they shot a few rounds over the head to rip up their rifles. And here comes General Patton with the Jeep. And he saw the condition we were in and he picked up the rifle that the guy had dropped it right in the face. You dirty SOBs, boom, boom. And it reminded me of Hopalong Cassidy with two guns. He'd go there, pow, pow. He didn't care nothing, this guy. He grabbed me and another guy put us on top of the tank, took us to the back of the prison camp. And that's the way I got out of that thing.
And how long were you a prisoner of war?
1 year.
1 full year?
1 full year. Oh, maybe a couple of months. But I said about a year, yeah.
And you went through all that suffering then for over a year?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And after you were rescued by General Patton, what happened next? Were you taken to the hospital and taken care of, or?
Oh, yeah, General Patton come in there at 247 and took us to the Camp Lucky Strike Field Hospital in France. So that's when they found out that I was allergic to penicillin because I still had this wound real bad, and so they put a neck brace, back brace, and a brace on my right ankle. I was there for about 8 months. Because then he shipped me back home.
And you came back home, do you remember when you came back home? What month was that?
Oh God, what was it when what month did I meet you? Because I met you when I got back
Yeah, but I can't remember what month it was. It was in the summer.
Yeah,
Summer, what year, Lucy, what year?
In 1945.
45, okay,
Yeah.
45, you
I
came
had-
back home?
I had come back from Raleigh and moved in with my mother on Valley.
Okay,
And I knew his sister when he was a prisoner.
uh-huh,
We used to hang out together. And then he came back and she introduced us and went to a dance and we started dancing and that was, then he went his way and I went mine.
why, what happened?
And then after 40 years we got together.
Oh,
Yeah, anyway, so, after 45, yeah,